So, um, this was happening before in my other videos. If you remember when I said that your spirit, we got into like 3 arguments before because she's overloading my plate. See all these extra slides on here? Your spirit is doing it again by overloading my plate. Because I don't know, it's just wants to tell an extra story. So this is not really, it's not connected to the story that I was working on. This is a totally separate story. But I'm going to put it here. And then once I'm done this, I'm going to talk about, oops. Oh. Once I'm done this story here, I'm gonna get back into the main story. So we'll just take a little bit of a break here. So you've probably watched these videos here that I just uploaded here, because I want to talk about those ones in our story. So. So you would have watched I See the Moon part 2, and then you would have went into Don't Make Us Rewind Time, Don't Make Us Rewind Time Quick. I'm going to explain those. I'm going to put a couple slide presentations together so you can understand the story behind it. But first, I just want to get this other little story out of the way. It'll probably take me 15, 20 minutes, half hour to talk about. That's this one here. So, oops. I don't know what's this guy. So. Anyhow, I was scrolling down and I happened to see this thing here. Hillary Duff invented being random by having a photo shoot with oranges. So that's Olivia, right? You're being random. That's why these the story's coming about. Like you're just doing a random story before I get back into the other story. So you guys wouldn't know the significance of these oranges here. To you, they're just oranges. That's just Hillary Duff sitting on the sidewalk with oranges. But you need to know the clues, and the clues is that here. So this is a company in Canada called Food Basics. They have this bag here. The frown there and the smile, that's a representation of your spirit. Okay, so if you're an adult, that's you walking around during the day here on the planet, normal. But at nighttime, when you fall asleep and you have those nightmares, you're having those nightmares like that. This is so imagine falling asleep. So imagine you're walking around now during the day, your adult self, you go home at night, and for 8 hours you have like 2,000 micro dreams. Like that. So some of the people, like they're upset. That's why there's a frown. This one's happy. Or some people are, upset, but because this is a mother, it's a representation of Olivia. She doesn't like the dreams, and she likes, she likes that aspect. She doesn't like the dreams at night. So that's what you're trying to convey to me, Olivia. So those oranges there, this is you being random. Okay, so what it means is that everybody on planet Earth. Not everybody. Like only, I would assume if you're good looking and you can afford to be cloned out there in the universe by these dummies, you'd be having those dreams. But if you're just like an average random person who's not, an Adonis or a goddess, you'd probably be walking around normal. You wouldn't have those dreams. So those oranges, they represent Hillary walking around like that. But at nighttime, when she goes to sleep, her spirit is having dreams like that. That's Hillary's contribution. And you'd have to connect it to this bag to connect to her. So, now, this story here is, this is my friend Darlene Root. Her name is Putty. And this is her daughter, Tina Root. So, we're friends, but this lady here is passed on, okay? So, this is her here. I've been Darlene Muir. So this is her obituary. Her name is Putty. So that's her there. And I've been telling the story behind the scenes about her. Like, she's passed on, but I can resurrect her when I have technology and bring her back to life. So she won't look like that when she comes back to life. Um, as far as I can tell, we might be able to bring her back younger, like 22. Um, when we bring her back, she'll look more along this line because this is her daughter. So the story is, I'm working behind the scenes. Is that I've found Putty like a soulmate, and we're telling the story behind the scenes here. The story is that because she looks old like that, her soulmate, when they begin watching this in the futuristic timeline, like say, I don't know, 10 years down the line, and we're all living in pink glass condo towers, and there's no money, and we're all there's no fast food, there's no junk food, there's nothing like that. It's a perfect civilization. She'll be alive and she'll be watching this on an advanced cell phone, and she'll be living in a condo here somewhere on pink glass condo. So when you watch this, Darlene, that's your contribution today. So now the story that goes with that is so this is me working behind the scenes, and sometimes as I'm waiting for the videos to upload, I just watch random videos, right? So this is me just watching some random videos while I'm waiting for the videos to upload, and I happen to notice this one here, Cut for Time. So if you guys watch this Cut for Time video, new cast member, that's a representation of Putty here having very little screen time. Once I found her through a skit and found her husband, her future husband, that was it. We didn't really get back into her storyline. So tonight, behind the scenes, Putty was letting me know that, hey, you didn't give me much screen time there. So I want to have some screen time. So she by watching this, I could tell that's what she wanted, because last night I had some screen time there for another good friend of mine. He had a really big storyline. So I was probably 6 hours. He was going on for 6 hours, if not longer. But Putty, she just had like 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes on the screen. So when you watch this one here, it's about her, not really being at the forefront of the story. And it's very hard because I've lost like 300 community members that I've loved and cherished and enjoyed their company. So every time that I find a soulmate for that person, there's usually a little story that goes along with it, but it's very hard to, spend so much time on telling those stories. I try my best I can. So this is me getting back on track with Putty's story here. So that's her. I'm cut for time, so she's trying to get more screen time. If you watch License to Kill here at the beginning, so I'm basically letting her know when she watches this. I just want you to know that this is nothing personal. It's just a business. So that's what he says at the beginning, and then I just cut it off, right? Because I'm talking to her through the phone here. The business is because last night I was working with my friend who's passed on, Greg, and he had a spouse that he wanted to talk to, like send love and devotion to. I had to work on him because he's like a personal friend, but I didn't do that for Putty. So that's me now correcting that issue for Putty so that she can play her future spouse some love songs. And there's a teaching lesson in it as well. So I put this on because I see in this thing here in the hallway at the back, I seen like the Hell's Kitchen logo. So I put that on, and then this year the girl gets angry and upset. But there's some fire that comes up. So the fire, okay, is connected to her spouse. She wanted me to let her spouse know that she thinks he's hot. And this is her skit here. I watched this yesterday with this character here being another one of my friends. And then I put it back on tonight because that older lady that's sitting there, it's a representation of Putty. When you see her sitting there, that's her because she's old. And the lady here is old. Right here. So when you watch that skit, it's about Putty and her future spouse. Looking at her as an old lady, not realizing that when she gets resurrected from the grave, she's going to be 22 years old and is going to look very similar to her daughter. This is her daughter, probably about, I'd say, 50 years old, my age. So she'll look very similar to that. You can see the facial structure looks the same. So that's what she would look like when she was younger. So she'll look very similar to that, her daughter. You just knock 20 years off, 30 years off of her. So when you watch this nursing home skit, that's what it's about behind the scenes. I'm a love matchmaker here. It's my job to find people soulmates in Saugeen from the celebrity pool of soulmates that I'm selecting. So that's what the nursing home is about. Now, because she's having sex, it's a representation of Putty having sex, but when she gets resurrected. So that's just me putting on a laugh track, because sometimes when I'm sitting here, I'm laughing, but I put the laugh track on because I want people to know that it's funny. Because I don't know if they can hear me when I'm talking through the phone. I don't think they can. The only time they can hear me is when I upload a video to YouTube. So I usually use the laugh track to let people know that I'm laughing behind the scenes. So I put on If I Could Turn Back Time because it's a representation of, she wanted me to tell her spouse if I could turn back time. So that's why I looked for the picture of her here and then her daughter here, because Putty wanted me to let her spouse know that that's not what that's not what he has to marry. He's not going to marry that old lady. He's going to marry a 22-year-old who looks very similar to that. So that's why I put on If I Could Turn Back Time for her, because she wanted me to put on If I Could Turn Back Time. So, now, I also put on The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, because it's about, this guy gets, he reverse ages himself, and that's about me resurrecting her from the dead and making her 22 years old. So that's why I put on Taylor Swift 22, because everyone in creation never ages past 22. Now, because I got that issue there, I got, that made me bring up demisexuality. So I'm proposing this here, like imagine there's a billion females and a billion males, and 25% of them are ugly. So I went, I think I took a picture of that. Somewhere, huh? Now here. So this guy here, I would use this here. So the 25%, I said, were ugly. Okay, so I pulled this skit up. So I took a picture of it because I was using it. So imagine 25% of those billion people are ugly. So if 25% of them are ugly, or 250 million of them are ugly. It's a random chance of who you're going to be with, but not all billion people have to get with one another because they're heterosexual. And that's leading me into another issue where I could explain why people are gay, because it has to do with quantum teleportation of people's souls into your bodies, which is this subject matter here, the spiritual warfare. So I can explain why people are gay, and I'll do that in a later video after I'm done all these other videos, because I want to get caught up on my work. So probably in about 4 or 5 more videos, you're going to learn why people are gay and how we're going to correct that and make them straight. So if the scenario is there's a billion people here and a billion people there, and 25% of them are ugly, it's random selection that you're not gonna end up with a beautiful person. 25% of the population are gonna end up with an ugly person. So that's where demisexuality comes in. So I started talking about demisexuality. This video here, if you watch this from Tinder, 4 demisexual people explain what demisexuality means. It'll give you a better understanding of why we created the universe to be demisexual. Meaning, you don't find people attractive by simply looking at them. You find them attractive when you get to know that person, because you basically develop a sexual attraction to their personality. If you don't like their personality, it's not going to work for you. You won't find them attractive. So you have a better shot of finding somebody when you get to know them as a friend, because when you get to know them as a friend, you find them sexually attractive. That nips everything in the bud. Like when you got hundreds of trillions of people going to the beach, going for a swim, walking around in bikinis and shorts, you're not Googling all those bodies and looking at them and say, wow. You're just looking at your spouse, and that's the only person that you're sexually attracted to. You look at everyone else, you don't see them as sexual objects. So that's how we got rid of the sin of lust, by making everyone demisexuals. Now, when you listen to that, I put this small talk on because it's about fairness. So the kid at the beginning is talking about it having to be fair. So if you're born and your genetics are not as good as somebody else's, that's not fair. So the way the creators leveled the playing field is to make demisexuality the law of the land. Unfortunately, because evil is in control of creation, demisexuality is not in control. Only when Olivia and I bind our souls together, destroy evil, or evil gets down on their knees, comes over here and asks for forgiveness, and then they got to do the purification, and mankind do the purification. There's a long process, and then when everyone is safe and we combine our souls together, that's when demisexuality will be restored. And you'll find your mind, it'll just shut off. You won't have those feelings of being sexually attracted to just random strangers. When her and I bind our souls together, your brain is going to shut off, and you're going to become an instant demisexual. And the only person that you're going to be attracted to is people that you get to know personally. So that's the randomness of why Olivia wanted me to talk about it, I guess. So, but there's more to it, because she actually wanted to tell me that, she only has eyes for me. So if you watch Star Wars here, the Phantom Menace trailer, when he says they're talking about a boy. He says, you believe this boy, I forget how it goes. They're talking about Anakin and how they say, you believe this boy, he's gonna bring balance to the force. You believe it's, you refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the force. You believe it's this boy? That's what they say. So you refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to demisexuality in the universe is what it means, because there's no balance there now. It's just random. You choose your mate based on looks. So when you hear him say, you refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the force, you believe it's this boy? The boy is me. Trying to bring balance to the universe by making evil bow down to Olivia and me so that grandmother can win the way she wants to win, and then nobody dies. And then there's a long process involved to make everyone good again, and then restore demisexuality back to the force. And then once demisexuality is back to the force, it brings balance to the force, because right now there's no balance in the universe because we choose our mates based on how we think they look. And that's not fair to people that aren't as pretty as other people. Like Olivia's song says, pretty isn't really pretty. So you refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the force. You believe it's this boy, Anthony? He can help you. He was meant to help you. Yeah, it's me. So that's true. That's just one perspective of how you can interpret it. That's how I want you to interpret it. Restoring balance to the force means making the universe even again. Whether we get rid of evil or whether they bow down. The balance of all creation. So I talk about 254, what is it, 224? Did I say 224? I think I said 224 trillion people out there. So imagine there being another 224 trillion people. So imagine there being 500 trillion people in the universe. And 25% of them are ugly. The only way that everyone in creation gets a spouse is if demisexuality is there. And that is what restoring balance to the force means. Making it equal so that everyone can find a mate in creation. So, again, the nightclub is about the ugly part. It's connected to this flamingo song here. I only have eyes for you, because he talks about flamingos. And this talks about flamingos. So I didn't notice this, but I took Louis for a walk down the road, and I was walking down the road for the longest time. And then when I got home, and I just happened to notice that as I scrolled up, there she was. She's sitting there at the bottom. She's looking at me, and the song is called "I Only Have Eyes for You." So she's guiding the story here that I'm telling behind the scenes, and she's letting me know by looking at me like that her spirit only has eyes for me. And it's a very, how do I put it? It's a very unique story where I'm basically dating your spirit, Olivia, and she's dating me. And people talk about that all the time, like I don't know, people burying they call it a spirit spouse, right? Like this one lady says she's dating a ghost, I think it is. You can look it up, like dating a ghost, right? Broker's just sex. I think she's having sex with it. I'm not having sex with the thing, but if you look up dating a ghost, or if you look up spirit spouse might be better, but a spirit spouse is like they associate it with demons, like they call them incubuses and succubuses. An app called Rhythmics that'll let. I hope that doesn't get me cut off. But if you listen to the spirit spouse, they're real. 2 months ago, maybe this guy here, but you see how there's it's like demonic looking. Basically, the atom that's inside of Olivia's ventral root never connected to her heart. I'm dating that atom inside of her heart, is what it means. So when you watch it, if you look up some spirit spell stuff here, don't get scared by all the negativity, like evilness. It just means that there's a spirit walking around on this planet through the atom that's inside of her body. The electricity of that atom, I'm dating that electricity. And because that electricity is in my phone, she can communicate to me through the phone. Even though she's in California where her atom is, she's part of the electricity of the planet. And because the planet is inside of the atoms, there's the electricity in the phone. Basically, the electricity that's in her atom is the electricity in the phone, and she can communicate through the phone. So that's how she's able to communicate to me. So her intentions. So I'm basically dating a spirit. And so, that's how I've developed an emotional attachment to her. You may be wondering, how does this guy get an emotional attachment? Why is he crying for her? He's just got a crush on her, doesn't he? No, it's not a crush, man. I'm dating her spirit. And her spirit is letting you know, as mankind, letting me know that she only has eyes for me. And you notice how it says the moon there? That's her. She's the moon, right? So, but I can't see a thing in the sky. So she's letting me know that when the UFOs come here, she's going to do her best to let her physical self here not be tempted by those UFOs in the sky. But I can't see a thing in the sky. I only have eyes for you. I don't see the UFOs when they come here. I'm going to make sure that the electricity in Olivia's brain and the electricity in her soul is not going to be tricked by the aliens in the sky. That's what she's letting me know, Olivia. Okay? And that I only have eyes, for you. So that's her eyes there, right? Like those eyes are legitimately looking at me and nobody else on this planet. I know that sounds crazy. It's true though. You just watch, man. One of these days you're gonna see everything come together like a puzzle piece. So, the fact that there's 5 guys here, it's a representation of the other ladies. So they had to come in here too and say something. So that's me just smiling around at it, right? Like, I accidentally hit the when I was scrolling down, I hit her video and had to shut it off to go back in to see what's going on. And when I went back in to check out the video, guess who's up on the screen there? Billy. So my love must be kind of blind love. So that's her. And then as I scroll down, I notice a father's promise, and you'll notice in a lot of Charlotte's videos, that's who she's with, her dad all the time. And so, see here, there's an example there. So I can tell that video here, it's a representation of Charlotte, a father's promise, right? So like being like a blind love, but they're slowly coming to their senses. In other words, like I'm assuming that they're letting me know that hopefully they're gonna try their best to let their higher selves know, like the physical selves, the spirit is gonna help the physical flesh. So when the spirit doesn't have fear about me being Satan, or when the spirit doesn't have fear about me being the bad guy, but rather fear of the people that are coming in the UFOs, it's gonna make people believe, like even Charlotte will be saying, I believe him, Dad. I don't trust those people in UFOs. It's coming from that perspective. So the next one is I scroll down, you can see it's the same thing here, the promise there, right? So there's the arm here. So as I scroll down, you see that there's Camilla. So it's the same with Camilla. It's like she's letting me know that they're gonna try to, say the same thing as this guy over here, like Olivia right here. But I can't see a thing in the sky, meaning they're gonna try, I think, to help their their physical selves, not think of me as a bad person, but rather look at the UFOs as being bad. So that's what she's saying. That's putty. Um, that's putty here. Okay, so that's Darlene Putty. Um, Again, she's driving now. Like she's the one doing the driving. So husband sitter for hire, right? So she's kind of making a joke about herself and how old she is for her future spouse. So I took a picture of that because I wanted to watch that later. I actually saved it, I think. So this one here is stare, because it's a representation of stare. Stubborn love. So I'm guessing because there's five guys here, five flamingos that hopefully I have a breakthrough with their spirits, and when the UFOs come here, ladies, and if they don't come here under the pretenses of peace, well then them coming here under the pretenses of war means that you 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 you'd be more inclined to tell them to take a chill pill and do this diplomatically. Like you're gonna listen to what I'm saying on these videos, as opposed to being like, "Oh wow, look at Caucasian gods and deities here! Wow, wow!" Coming from that perspective, you'll be more cautious. In other words, so I can't see anyone but you. So that's like Darlene telling her husband that she can't see anyone but him, because of demisexuality being restored back to creation. There's the flamingo, because these guys are called the flamingos. Okay, so if you can't see anyone but you, it's referring to demisexuality. So my love must be a kind of blind love, meaning I see everyone walking around in creation when I go to the beaches, but I don't have a desire to look at anyone in that way. And it's a hard concept to grasp, but one day it's like a switch in your brain is just going to shut off, and when you look at people, your lust is going to be gone forever, and it's like a kind of blind love. I can't see anyone but you. You only see the person that you're have your soul bound to. So that's the flamingo connection here. The flamingos, people who are ugly people. Even ugly people will have a spouse. You could literally see the most ugliest person on planet Earth walking around with the hottest person in the universe, but you wouldn't be able to tell that person is hot or that person's ugly, because you don't have that desire, because you're demisexual. You can't see that. So, are the stars out of night? So, this says charades with mom, but you'll notice who's down below there. Huh? So, she's wearing purple, right? What did I say? Most of you probably you probably didn't catch that, right? You probably looked down below and seen the charades with mom, and you only seen her. You forgot about the purple. So there's the purple moon that she floats around on, right? Yeah. So there's the purple moon. I always tell you to remember. Let's get purple moon there. Purple moon. So when you look at this, mom and the purple means that she is your mother creator. Mom, not the aliens that are coming here. Uh, the fact that that's 50 and I'm 52, and that's a representation of a one, like a mother, and I'm the father, that's 52. It means that I think she's going to do her best to try to, make it so that you don't see me as a beast. Like she's, it's 52, right? So she's going to make, I think her spirit is going to make it so that you're not so put off by how I look. 52, right? Because the mom equals 1 and the dad equals 2, 52, and I'm 52. So the secret charades message that she's trying to tell me is that she's gonna try to do her damnedest to you know make it so that you don't find me ugly in terms of my features, which is something hard when you're not demisexual, but also carrying the emotional baggage that you have to carry around when you realize what spiritual warfare actually entails and how deep undercover I had to go to protect everyone. So that's what she's saying. So if you want to watch the trades with Mom SNL skit, go ahead. I haven't watched it myself. I don't know what it's about. I think I watched it before. I think it's about she's attracted to one of the guys that come there to play charade, or she doesn't, or she has a problem with that guy. I can't remember. So if she has a problem with the guy, I think it's about Olivia having a problem with me, and that your spirit is going to try her best to make it so that you don't have a problem with me. If the Adam doesn't have a problem with me, the soul is the next problem. The soul is your own consciousness, Olivia. It's the person that could have a problem with me. But if your spirit is trying your best to make it so that you don't have a problem with me, the problem will lie within your soul. It won't be the atom in your heart. It'll be the soul inside that atom that is the problem. So where is my picture for that? Yeah, here it is. So let's go with this one. So this is a female here, okay? So that one single atom there is right here. So this atom here, that little fire electron, that's your spirit, Olivia. So if she has a problem with a person here, it means that she's gonna try her best here as a spirit walking around the planet to not impact your soul over here, because whatever she thinks over here, that little button there, the electricity from this atom flows into the quark's electricity, which flows into your soul. The two are intermingled and become your consciousness, your spirit along with your soul. This is your consciousness. This is you right here, right now. And this is the spirit inside of you. So if she can, try to think positive thoughts, that positivity will carry over to here. But it can only go so far. You have to carry it the rest of the way, Olivia. You can't be walking around thinking I'm ugly. You can't be walking around thinking I'm a bad person. You have to try to help yourself. So I think this skit is about Ariana has a problem with one of the guys there. She either has a problem with him or she likes him. I can't remember what it is. So that's what I'm talking about when the spirit is here. So that little thing there is the issue. But if she's going to become good, then there should be no issue. So she's going to try to have only have eyes for me, because in past lives she didn't do that. She never only had eyes for me. She didn't like me. So if she only has eyes for me, it should go a little ways here to help the electricity here with you hopefully having only eyes for me too. But you also have to try to help yourself as well. So that again, that's her saying, I only have eyes for you, right? So that's me being, they call that a stoic, like try to look serious, well, handsome at the same time. I think I look pretty good there. You know, so I don't have those wrinkles there. They're gone away. Somewhat. You don't see it on there, right? So yeah, the moon. So that's just me eating junk food. So that's the end of this kit here. What are we at here? I got 40 minutes. So she wants you to know up here, Olivia, that your spirit, that little Adam, only has eyes for me. And that's only 50% of the she can only carry it 50%. You have to carry it the other 50%, basically. So I think what she's trying to say with the 50 here. If the spirit has only eyes for me, you have to carry it the other 50%. So that's your soul. Okay? That's this here. So 50%, I've reached it here, 50%. So 50% gets to here. You got to carry the other 50% to make it 100%. Now, these guys, they put out a message in a bottle somewhere. I don't remember where the hell that was. I took a picture of it. Anyways, yeah. So this is a message in a bottle here. So, by the police. So when they talk about sending out an SOS, I'm sending out an SOS. Here it is, message in a bottle, please. So, just a castaway. Um, more loneliness than any man can bear. So the reason why I've had such a hard time getting out here is because Olivia's spirit has been, with that, what do they call it? Spectral, what the spectral stuff, like the entity stuff. So being connected to that has made me a lonely man. But that 50% means that she's going to give her for 100%, and Olivia has to give her 100%, like your soul. So rescue me before I fall in despair. So that's me trying to communicate with your spirit, letting everyone know what's really the seriousness of the situation that everyone's facing, because this is it. This is for all the marbles, man. And grandmother could just rewind time across all creation for 24 hours and everyone evil would drop dead. And mankind would be here. 11 billion people on planet Earth would suddenly find themselves all alone without evil, and all my good children can come into this universe and move on without people. That's how serious this is, kids. So I'm sending an SOS to the world, not to you guys, but to the quantum realm down below, which is where your spirits are. I'm letting them know that this is Ragnarok and that we're going forward, whether or not people like it or not. There's nothing anybody can do to stop me. I cannot die. So I'm trying to communicate to the spirit world so that the rest of you won't have such an issue either, because there's going to be fear that I'm a bad person or I'm Lucifer. So I'm trying to communicate to the spirit world. I hope someone gets my message in a bottle. So that's what it's about. So a year has passed since I wrote my note. I should have known this from the start. Only hope can keep me together. Love can mend your life. Love can break your heart. So love can mend your life, or love can break your heart. So please don't break my heart. I'm trying my best here. 100 billion castaways looking for a home. 100 billion. That's probably the elemental universe. Um, that's probably how many people they chased in there. There was probably maybe 100 billion people at the beginning of creation, and chased them in there. If I did a mathematical equation, I could figure it out because there's 1,400 planets. So we go 14 old. I'm bad, so that's 488 billion, 15 trillion, so I'm answers. Oh, that's more than enough. Way too many. So that's the message in the bottle. Now, this was a random picture here as well. So, this is another one of my community members. Okay, he's over here. So, message in the bottle, sending a message down to the spirit realm to try to make it so that you guys are not so fearful. So this is Jordan. There he is there. Okay, so that's Jordan there. That's the picture I took there. So because he's passed on, I happened to click on this guy's picture thing, but did you notice how they look very similar? So this is your contribution, Jordan, when you get to this part here. In terms of letting your spouse know that she's very beautiful. So I haven't been able to finish his story and tell his story because I got into Putty's story. So I got to finish Putty's story, then I go back into his story because he wants me to let his future spouse know that she's very beautiful. So he wanted me to play the song "I Really, 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 Really Like You," so I put that on. Now, so that's Jordan. So the guy took these pictures over here, right? That's here. This is the one here where it looks like Jordan. So took a picture of a beautiful girl. So I put that on because he wanted me to let his future spouse know that she's very beautiful. But at the same time, there's a bike here. It's purple. So it's a representation of that mirror being like a Olivia spirit having a reflection on becoming the pillar of all creation as the new mother of all creation. That's like if you're a pillar in the community, it means you're important. Like maybe you own the gas station, maybe you own the grocery store, right? Or maybe you own what's another store? Maybe you own a car dealership or something. So you're a pillar in the community. So that pillar with the mirror and the bike, the color represents your spirit, Olivia. She recognizes that we're going forward forever and there is no turning back, and that she doesn't want to miss out on the opportunity. She's having a reflection of herself in the mirror, and she can see herself as the pillar of all creation, as the new mother. That's what that purple bike means. Okay? And she's letting me know that she's beautiful. She wants to be a beautiful girl. Like, she wants to be good, and she wants to get out of there. At the same time, it's about Jordan letting his girlfriend know that, or his future spouse know that she's beautiful. So that's just the camera, right? So then I took that picture there. So there's another story here. So now yo, So this came up here. Again, Olivia, it's your name on there, okay? And she's letting me know that she wants to cruise with me together. Okay. Um, Now, at the same time, I clicked on that video. So I was watching the video and I happened to notice that you got this glass here of spirits. And there was temptation today. Like the spirits were trying to tempt me to get more stuff, more crystal. Like the crystal meth. And I pushed that away. I said, I don't want to get that. Why would I get that? I've done that stuff. But the spirits are tempting me to get it because of the diet that I've been eating. It's very high in sodium. And having all that sodium in my body while increasing the blood pressure from the crystal meth would give me a stroke. I know it, but your spirit is also letting me know, like, don't fall for that, Anthony. She's protecting me, Olivia. So because she's holding that glass of water with those eyes looking at me, she said, "You got to drink some water because of how much sodium they're making you eat, Anthony." So that's why I got a glass of water. Uh, this is what they were making me eat: the soup, 2 cans of soup. If you look at it, there it's like 37% sodium, and that's just the small can. 37% in the small one. Then there's 32%, so that's 69% my daily sodium, and that's only one meal. And then you got to add this peanut butter that I had. That's not much there, 2%, right? And then you got to add in the bread. So this is the bread that I had. The bread had 24%, so 69. So I'm at 100% my daily sodium intake, but I also had four packages of Mr. Noodles all day because that's all I have is processed crap. So she's letting me know that I could drop dead and getting the crystal meth is a bad idea because of the food that I'm eating, the tasting, like the food, all the sodium that they're getting me to put in my body is a way to kill me. If I get that crystal meth that they want me, because tomorrow's payday for me, I could go get crystal meth tomorrow, but I'll die tomorrow. That's what your spirit is telling me because of all the sodium I've been eating. And I'm not exercising. So she don't want me to drop dead. It's a bad idea, Anthony. Don't get the crystal meth because of all the food they've been making you eat, the junk. So I was happening to watch this arm wrestling match because I like Devin Larratt. He's a Canadian arm wrestler. And I just happened to notice here it says anti-diabetic drugs, meaning I die. Bet, like a don't gamble. Tick, like a tick is like a bullseye, if you get bit by a tick, you get a bullseye rash. So drugs, they're telling me don't get the drugs. It's alpha, like grandfather trying to get rid of you. That's drug class down there. So it's a drug class review. So, and then I was listening to this, and halfway through he says, "Steele Moore's out nearly burst a blood vessel there with that one. So if I get the drugs tomorrow, I'll burst a blood vessel. That's what your spirit is telling me, Olivia." Um, so I happened to notice that there's a 5-star weekend. So I clicked on that because there's 5 ladies, right? There's the 5 ladies that are competing for Miss Universe. So there's the Devin Larratt one there. Then there's this the video I was watching. So this is the new cast advice, which is this one here. So if you watch new cast advice, you understand what I'm talking about here. So Molly texted, "I have to kill it. I have to kill." It's like, don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. So when I watched that and I heard that, like, don't put that kind of pressure on yourself, it means don't get that crystal meth because the sodium that you've been eating all month, it's going to constrict the blood vessels in your brain and in your heart, and you'll you'll burst a blood vessel. So that's the new cast advice. And this other one, Devin Laurent versus Vitali, that's this one here. If you listen, burst a blood vessel. Now this one here is the 5-star weekend, which is 5-star weekend. So the interesting thing about that 5-star weekend one is can I take a picture of that one? Sometimes I take a picture of it, but not doing. Oh, right there. So this came out 6 hours ago when I took the picture. That's what I'm looking for. So 5-star weekend. So that's the one I was watching here, the Joe Blow one. Okay. So this is the new cast advice, this one. You now have the Devil Laurent one. And we're now looking at the 5-star weekend. So this weekend is for the 5 of us. So that's Olivia, Charlotte, Camilla, Stare, and Billie Eilish. A weekend of 5-star treatment because they're stars, right? They're all people know who they are. So a weekend of 5-star treatment. Cheers. The cheers is a representation of more water, so I got more water after I seen that. Save 4 stress tolls. I say 4 stress tolls. I don't know what it means by say 4 stress tolls, but the word stress means because I'm not walking, I'm not exercising. Like I'm very sedentary. I just lay in here all day, and I eat sodium and carbs. That's putting stress on my heart. It's putting stress on my blood vessels. So toes. They're letting me know that the sedentary lifestyle is what will precipitate a stroke in my brain if I get the crystal meth, because it's crystal meth will just increase my blood pressure. And I need to exercise. Can't believe you're all actually here. I think I'm still in shock. So it's like, yep, you forgot the whipped cream. So the whipped cream is metaphorical for ejaculatory. She's definitely not okay. Nope, this week is going to be a hoot. So the hoot is a representation of taking a hoot from a joint or a hoot from a peace pipe. But because the hoot is associated with owls, and owls are associated with being wise, but also death, it's the death part. So if I take a hoot off that crystal meth, I'll die, is what these 5 ladies are telling me. Because I'm assuming, in a past life, that's probably what happened. I probably got some more stuff because of payday, and I probably would have died. And that would have been it for everybody. But the thing here is that if I perish tomorrow, I have to rewind time. And if I rewind time, it's going to kill everyone here on planet Earth who's an imposter. So I think that's what they're trying to avoid. They don't want that happening. So I could get it and I could die and then I could rewind time, but I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm about. So they're letting me know. Don't take a hoot out the pipe because you'll end up like an owl or omen, bad omen. Since Matthew died, I don't know who I am. So that's a representation of me passing away, I guess, in a past life. So, ex-boyfriend, sorry. Hello there, stars. So, the hello there, stars, that's connected back to Um, I want to think of this to be grandma. 5, but because this is more weight than. That's the moon. I always present that. We have a moon. Now over here, and then we look up here. So we counted these stars. This is the hello stars, ladies. 1, 2. I think that's 3, and then there's 3 more there. 4, 5, 6. Right. So 1 by the finger. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when he says hello, okay, when he says hello there, stars, that's actually what it means. So that's the end of this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Well, I do like to close with a song, right? That's typically what I do. So let's go. One of you ladies is gonna be, why don't you watch A Star Is Born? Okay. And he says, I always knew you were gonna do something great with yourself. This is the first time I'm worried about you. That's about these ladies being worried about me. Like they're worried about me passing away. That's why they're not letting me smoke the crystal meth tomorrow on payday, because I probably die tomorrow. So that's what they're saying. That's the first time I'm worried about you. Okay, thanks, ladies. That's your spirits helping me out. So I'm not getting the stuff. That was my plan, not to get the stuff. But the spirits, like the AI in my brain was trying to get me to get some. They're putting thoughts in my head that I needed to get some because there's some more pieces of the puzzle that I didn't have, which is a lie. So when you hear them say, this is the first time I'm worried about you, that's what it means. This is the first time that these spirits are worried about me, because they know that if I pass on, I rewind time, I survive, but other people on planet Earth die, and they don't want that happening. So one of you ladies is going to be the star, but I'm letting you know now that it's going to be Olivia. I put all my faith in you, girl. I think you can do it. So, let's go with shallow, right? Because I'm off the deep end. Watch as I dive in. We're far from the shallow now. So if you're far from the shallow, it means that you're far from these evil people in the universe. They're abusing your bodies as clones, giving you these nightmares, spiritually raping you. And that's shallow. That's a shallow thing to do. So if you're far from the shallow, ladies, it means your spirits are far from shallow people. And you want to try your best to, help yourself up here. But they can only take it 50% of the way, ladies. You got to take it the other 50%. So be far from the shallow. Shallow-minded people. Now for Olivia. this is your song, just for you, okay? Because I believe you're that star that's gonna be born, and always remember us this way. Why don't you sing that song I want you to sing? What song? So American. This is my favorite one that you do so far. Sing that song, So American. If he keeps this shit up, I'm gonna marry him. That's the song I like. So that when he says, I want you to play that song, that's the one, right? If he keeps this shit up, I'm gonna marry him. Then when he says, I love you, always remember us this way, it's, you know, it's legitimate. Like, I do love your spirit. But you got to let me get to know you physically. Your spirit has gone 100% in. You need to go the other 100% in. Or your spirit has gone 50% in. She loves me. I love her. That's my spirit spouse. You're my spirit spouse. But you need to take it the other 50% of the way. So part of taking that 50% of the way is playing music for you from this perspective. Like, that's a legitimate song. It's from me to you. It's from my spirit as the father of all creation to your spirit, so that grandmother can become you. So when he says that, I love you, it's not that I love you because I don't know you personally, but I know your spirit better than you know yourself.